Don't matter who did what to who at this point. Fact is, we went to war, and now there ain't no going back. I mean, shit, it's what war is, you know? Once you in it, you in it. If it's a lie, then we fight on that lie. But we gotta fight.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
The people
I'm
on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
One of the reasons I initially started this channel was because I started to understand the extent to which some people intentionally push ignorance and misinformation into the ether for personal gain. I was brought up in an environment where being intellectually deficient, or in layman's terms, stupid, it was embarrassing. I'm sure most people that attended public school can relate to just simply having to read aloud in class. Nobody wanted to be that person to get called upon to read and sound dumb. You damn right you were going to get laughed at and picked on. In today's climate, it would be considered bullying. But from our perspective, it created incentive for us to get our shit together and work towards getting better. The overall understanding was that it was important to study and learn to be articulate and intelligent. The fact that our peers held each other to this standard was something that benefited us all. Nobody wanted to be on the receiving end of the "you so dumb" jokes. For many different reasons, some unknown to man, society is continually allowing ignorance, misinformation, and flat-out lies to run rampant. The people that are knowingly spreading lies and bullshit try to use the protection of freedom of speech as a covering excuse for parroting foolishness. One of the most egregious examples of people riling up the tinfoil hat community was Alex Jones and his InfoWars platform. This man was allowed to perpetuate a bald-faced lie about murdered children and their parents after the Sandy Hook massacre. These were our babies, the innocent among us, and this grown-ass privileged white dude was able to make money from a lie that could easily be proven to be a lie for far too long. It's been 12 years and he's just recently started to be made accountable for his lies. When 45 came onto the scene, lying about everything and making false claims all over the place, people acted so shocked and appalled. Meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, hey, y'all allowed a man to lie about dead babies for a decade, out loud and in public. Of course, the con man is always paying attention to the market, looking for what demographic is primed and ready for the con. I once read that regardless of how awful you believe someone to be, you should always look to admire something about them as well. This is the one area where I give 45 his props. Overall, he's an absolute self-centered idiot that has the maturity of a junior high school student. But his genius is the understanding where he can pull off a con and with whom he can pull off a con. He understands that perception is truly reality for a large part of society. 45 has convinced some people that he is this economic genius and that Americans were better under his presidency and leadership. In reality, that's not true at all.
And the reason some people think, wow, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him. It wasn't something he did. I spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me the last time. So just in case everybody has a hazy memory, he didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts.
And those who believe that can't name you one piece of legislation that he helped pass through Congress that boosted the economy. Yeah, they like to mention the tax cuts that only help the top 1% of earners in the country. And by the way, it exploded the deficit by almost $7.8 trillion, the third largest increase by any U.S. administration. They also mentioned the PPP loans and the stimulus package, not even realizing the only reason those two things existed is because we were in the middle of a pandemic and Nancy Pelosi got the stimulus package passed through Congress. 45 did sign the legislation, but that's all he did. Put his name on the checks, just like he does with everything else he tries to take credit for. We have just experienced two catastrophic hurricanes that developed in the Gulf of Mexico. One of them being the strongest seen in decades. Certain people in Congress, including 45, have continued to claim that global warming is a hoax or some type of leftist scam. Shit, I still remember a few years back where there was this idiot in Congress that brought a snowball into the halls of Congress to dispute global warming. It was so stupid that I couldn't even laugh, because this was one of the people tasked with helping pass legislation to benefit Americans, and he was just dumb as hell. Right now, you have sitting Congress people like Beach Blonde Bad Bilge Butch Body Marjorie Taylor Greene suggesting that someone is manipulating and controlling hurricanes to destroy Republican areas of the country. Meanwhile, you have 45 out here claiming that the government is not helping those affected by these storms because FEMA is out of money and the money went to the immigrants. I would like to say you can't make this stuff up, but they are literally just making shit up as they go.
And Donald Trump at a rally just started making up stories about the Biden administration withholding aid from Republican areas and siphoning off aid to give to undocumented immigrants. Just made the stuff up. Everybody knew it wasn't true. Even local Republicans said it was not true. And now the people of Florida are dealing with another devastating storm. And I want you to watch what happens over the next few days, just like the last time. You're going to have leaders who try to help, and then you have a guy who will just lie about it to score political points, and this has consequences. Because people are afraid, and they've lost everything, and now they're trying to figure out, how do I apply for help? And some of them may be discouraged from getting the help they need. The idea of intentionally trying to deceive people in their most desperate and vulnerable moments. And my question is, when did that become okay? I'm not looking for applause right now. I want to ask Republicans out there, you know, people who are conservative, who didn't vote for me, who didn't agree with me. I had friends who disagreed with me on every issue. When did that become okay? Why would we go along with that?
Using a tragedy for political gain. Most of it is projection, though, because the truth is, the only president that took money from FEMA to use on immigration, oh yeah, it was 45. I often attempt to give people the benefit of the doubt because I know that there are those who literally profit from keeping people ignorant, fearful, and vengeful. I just don't understand how so many of us walk around with computers in our hands all day long and refuse to do basic research that will only take a few minutes to figure out the truth on a lot of these issues. It's kind of like reality TV with real world consequences. A lot of people know it's scripted, manipulated, and fake, but they still love watching and consuming the show. Only difference is that continuing to consume the ignorance of 45, real people will get hurt in real life. Deuces.
She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies.
We are also learning more about the aftermath of former President Trump's campaign event in Coachella, where some rally goers were left stranded in the dark.
All of us. Someone needs to investigate this now. Everyone here is stranded. This isn't normal. Apparently the buses are no longer coming, or at least there used to be like 20 buses when we were being brought here, but now there's only like 3 buses operating, and it's an absolute, it's just chaos, absolute chaos. All of us are stranded here. Everyone's stranded here.
Push the goddamn button.